Well, how wonderful it is to meet both of you via Zoom. How are you both holding up and keeping busy and safe and, the usual?
In the apartment.
Yeah, we're all like, obsessed with our homes now, making sure everything's clean. I hope mine's clean enough for you guys. Well, congratulations on this short. I absolutely loved it. And I was so moved, and especially being a parent, it just really, really hits you. So Yibing, let's start with you, because I wanted to know, obviously it's very personal for you. A couple questions here all in one. When did this all start? When did the idea come about? And why did you decide to make it a short and not a feature?
Oh, like to make a feature, you need to have a budget and everything. To have this short, we got a long time to get this to get approved. So
Yeah.
that sounds why it should be a short. Um, it's it's inspired by my personal experiences because when I was a kid, I often sick. I
Oh,
think a lot of people like probably really sick when they're kids. I don't know.
yeah.
My memory of those days were foggy, but on the other hand, from my parents' perspective, they're like the event was way more serious. They told me they spent countless night taking care of me and fighting their own emotions. I didn't know why they were so worried as a kid, but since I got older, I start to empathize with them. Like
Yeah.
um, especially now I moved to my to US and far away from home. Makes me the one who always worry about them, especially recently because Wuhan is my hometown. Quickly after the news of the whole city shut down, I
Yeah.
got words that my uncle had to stop his cancer treatment because overwhelming COVID patient. And both my cousins still need to work in the hospital,
Wow.
where a lot of them, the coworkers already got infected. I video chat with them as often as could, but then when the camera shut off, all the horrible thoughts just rush back in because that's new at that time. It's like no idea how scary the virus is. And that was the time we were crunching for this film. I remember we were animating the hospital sequence when
Yeah.
the father character feel hopeless and sits on the floor. At that moment, I could totally sympathize with his pain. I
Right.
guess this is a really good example of life imitates art, especially now at the time when people around the world are isolating
Yeah.
and craving for connection and
Absolutely.
also preoccupied, like some of us are preoccupied with the health and well-being of the loved ones. I
Yeah.
think the story of wind up is very relevant.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. And Jason, for you, I mean, I understand that it did kind of turn into a personal thing for you as well.
Yeah, it did. So I became a first time parent during production. So I related to the father during the time. But after the production, and my son was born, and he had kind of a breathing issue, and he was transferred to the neonatal intensive care unit there. And at that time, my wife, we had that feeling of dread and hopelessness, and luckily the doctors and the nurses, which they're incredible, they have a way to like keep you going day by day to instill this hope that we needed, and in the end worked out. My son is completely healthy and happy, but that's sort of reflecting now with that, and I wasn't really thinking about it at the time, like,
Of course.
man, how important this film actually is to people. And it really kind of, I think it did, intrinsically kind of help me out during that time too. So yeah, it's a very important film, I think. Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, Yibing, what I love a lot about this, well, I love a lot of things about this short, but I find it, music is really the universal language, and music, powers through the entire narrative. You don't have any dialogue. I love that. And I wanted to know why you chose to do that instead of having the characters speak.
I mean, we did thought to make a dialogue, but then we chose the dialogue free because, as you said, the music is universal language. So because the theme of the story is universal, I know we want more people all over the world can connect with it. So we chose to use the music. And our composer, Joaquin Gracia, hope I pronounce his name right. He did a really good job in the end.
Yeah, the music
We're
is,
lucky for
you
that.
can't stop thinking about it after you keep humming. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Jason, I want to know for you too. I mean, what ultimately challenged you? I mean, I know you had animators. What's interesting too is that everybody can work from their workspaces from all over the world. Like you can, call Australia, call wherever, call China, call wherever you need to call. And it's like, other than time zones, that would probably be, the biggest challenge, I would think. But ultimately, what is that like working with a team from all over the world like that?
So yeah, we were right before the pandemic, so kind of ahead of its time in terms of production because everyone's working at home now. But it wasn't that hard at all. I would say it worked except for the meetings, because of the time zones, but
Sure.
it worked out. And a lot of it has to do with the Unity's real-time rendering game engine. I think it kind of streamlined this process and everyone's able to work and collaborate within the same software and see this final product that the audience sees instantly. So that helped out a lot in terms of and then with animation and specifically, we were kind of mind blown. We're coming from film and we've never worked with this real-time engine.
Right.
And we would animate these characters and then all of a sudden we see it with the light and everything and we're like, wow, it helps us believe, we're the actors, right? So and the closer we can feel like the characters, the more authentic the performance becomes. So I really think that helped out tremendously to achieve that.
Amazing. Yeah, it's such an amazing story. And Yibing, for you, I mean, after it was all said and done, obviously you're so proud and this collaboration. What do you learn about yourself, after doing something like this? People don't realize, first of all, how long it takes to make animation. I was joking, saying in the beginning, why I didn't make a feature, and I get it, and budget and everything. But like it took what, 9 months to do 9 minutes? That's extraordinary amount of time. So when you think about how long it would take to make a feature, a 90-minute film or whatever, we sit 3-4 years until we finally see a wonderful animated film. So after it was all said and done, what was your feeling? How did must have been extremely proud.
I mean, before the production actually got approved, I have the idea for years. So like, I thought the story is good before the production started. Like, I think everything's great, but actually during the production and like we realized there's a lot of holes in the story, and then we keep on changing the story until the last minutes. Like Jason definitely hated it. It's like, I already finished that shot and now you change it. I think I can totally do better the next time, since the way we make this one, I got a lot of good advices about story, such as like you should write down the theme of the story in big letters and make sure you don't drift away from it. So for my next film, I'll make sure I have the theme of the story, like not just try to tell an interesting story without thinking about what this is about. And if we did that, nail that before the production started, that would save us a lot of time.
Right. Well, you always learn, you always learn from everything that we do, which is the most important lesson. I think we have to. Jason, I have to acknowledge, of course, as a kid, of course, I grew up with your grandfather's family circus. My God, there wasn't a weekend I remember running to get the paper and opening the comics and reading that strip. I mean, iconic, of course. And then your uncle, Glenn Keane, Disney legend. And then I just literally spoke to him not too long ago for Over the Moon, which is a beautiful film. I have to ask you, I mean, what do you learn from your family? What was the best advice maybe that they gave you or your uncle gave you when you decided you wanted to do this?
Well, one of the things that really helped out in this film, which was the art style or the animation style, I would say, we had to walk this fine line between cartoony and realistic. We didn't want to be too cartoony and make it more of a joke because we had to handle the emotional weight of the story, or we didn't want it to be too realistic and get muddled in these details. We want to maintain that appeal, that like beauty of where we see Kiki sliding down and playing hopscotch. So I think we found that perfect line and achieved it. And it's something my uncle taught me way back when I was in art school, and I was showing him some life drawings, and he wrote down this Italian word, sprezzatura, and which is like art that hides art. And he told me subtlety is key. And I think that's definitely helped out in this thinking about the animation.
Yeah, amazing. What a great legacy you guys continue to do. I hope that your son is next, when he starts to draw, that'd be good.
Yeah, well, I'll put him to her. I'm like, here, animate the scene for me.
Exactly. Come on, get him started.
Yeah.
So Yibing, at the end of the day, I mean, like I said, it's such a beautiful, beautiful short. What would you like people to take from it after watching it?
I want people to feel hope, of course. I believe love can win through the support of families and friends, and this support and beliefs are especially important during the difficult times like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jason, what did you learn maybe from after finishing this?
Well, I mean, like I said, I had that incident with my son, and I really think, whether it's a friend or a family member or a doctor, nurse, or a film, that we need to keep having this reminder of hope and to never give up, and have us keep going, and especially during these times. So I think it's a powerful film that says that.
I agree. Well, I thank you both for your time today. And like I said, I loved it so much. And people can watch it on YouTube, correct? They can, which I think is amazing, because I don't think a lot of short films are that accessible. And I thank you for doing that, because it's so important. People can now just Google it, Yibing, look it up and be able to find it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Under Unity's channel, just look up WiNDUP Unity or in YouTube or.
Perfect.
So.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Best of luck. And hopefully we'll be talking to you both on your next project, I hope. Thank you, guys. Take care. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
Bonnie.
Okay. Bye-bye.